Yes, people, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another live stream and welcome to all your latest Chelsea transfer news. As always, people, we have got a packed show. Make sure you're smashing the likes. Make sure you subscribe if you're new around here. Get involved in the chat. Big up to everyone that is already locked in. Today's show, people, we've got the latest on the future of Nicolas Jackson with reports saying that Aston Villa are interested in reuniting him with Unai Emery. We've got the latest on interest in Morgan Rogers as well. The latest on Jamie Gittens. Sky Germany saying that Dortmund wants 65 million euros. Ben Jacobs saying they want 55 million euros. We've got the latest on the pursuit of him. The latest on interest in Malik Fofana. The Premier League fixtures for the new season have also been announced. We'll dive into that as well. Plus, Chelsea looking for a different profile compared to Jackson and Liam Delap. And yeah, anything else that may or may not come in whilst we are live, chat. Loads to get into, people. Loads to get into. But first of all, guys, just a quick reminder as always. Make sure you check out Jerseys FC Soccer Shop, people. 20% off using code BLUEBROTHER. Make sure you're looking fresh in this year's new home kit that is being worn at the Club World Cup. Great quality, affordable prices. Get names, numbers, patches, whatever you want on the back. Use code BLUEBROTHER for 20% off. Link is in the description. Now, let's say hello to a few of you lot in the chat, and then we're going to get this show on the road. I would take Morgan Rogers at Chelsea. Yep, I would as well. Happy with the Premier League fixtures. Yeah, we're going to dive into that. Yes, big up, brother. Yes, big up, mate. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm not falling for that again. I would prefer Malik Fofana over Gittens. Yeah, I hear it. Villa PSR deal with Jackson. I'm not entirely sure, but let's wait and see. Morgan Rogers with Caicedo in midfield. I'll take that one. I mean, Rogers wouldn't be playing alongside Caicedo. Let me know, in fact, last time we played Sunderland, last game of the season. Yeah, we did. I mean, could we have a similar situation? I mean, I don't know. I really don't know. If we're looking for a different style striker, how about Jonathan David? Yeah, Jonathan David looks like he's going to join Napoli. He is an offer on the table from Napoli, chat. But again, I'm not really sure if he's waiting for more offers to come in or whether he's just still considering that Napoli offer. But definitely know he's got an offer on the table from Napoli. But other than that, not heard anything else. I mean, I think Morgan Rogers is a very different player to Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Loftus-Cheek wasn't really a 10, didn't really play wide. Loftus-Cheek was more of a versatile central midfield player. I'm not really seeing too much of the comparison between the two, chat. But yeah, let's start with the news then, guys. We will get into the fixtures a bit later on. But let's start with the main transfer news. And let's begin with Jamie Gittens, because in the last 5 minutes, 12 p.m., literally the last 5 minutes, we have had this from Bobby Vincent. Understands Chelsea are set to make new and improved offer to Borussia Dortmund for Jamie Gittens. Talks ongoing with Dortmund after initial £42 million offer turned down last week. Gittens crucially wants to move to Stamford Bridge. Now, let's see what this article's saying, chat. Chelsea preparing fresh offer for Jamie Gittens. Talks are still ongoing. A verbal agreement between the Blues and a 20-year-old is in place already, as we know. Bundesliga giants are holding out for closer to 50 million. Chelsea see the left winger position as a priority. What else have we got? That's kind of it. So Gittens came on as a sub in the 77th minute yesterday, as Dortmund were held to a 2-2 draw by Thiago Silva's Fluminense on Tuesday. The Chelsea target is now set to fly to Cincinnati with the rest of the Dortmund squad for their second group match on Saturday. So yeah, looks like new offer is coming in, chat, for Jamie Gittens. Now, I'm not sure how I feel about this money. I'm not sure how I feel about this money. Because once you start getting, I think anything, for me personally, I think anything over £40 million is too much money on Jamie Gittens. Once you start getting to that level, you're like, well, you might as well move up to the next bracket of target if you're prepared to commit that much money. Now, Sky Germany are saying about Gittens that Sky Germany are saying that Yes, Chelsea have inquired about Malik Fofana. He's one of the names on their shortlist. However, the main priority remains Jamie Gittens. There is a verbal agreement in place. However, it remains unclear whether an agreement with Dortmund can be reached, as they are demanding 65 million euros, including bonuses for Gittens. Now, 65 million euros is an absolute joke. Absolute joke. Under no circumstances should we be going anywhere near 65 million euros. 65 million euros is about 58 to 60 million pounds. There's no way Chelsea are paying that. No way. No chance. Vince McMahon settings. No chance at all that Chelsea are paying anywhere near that money for him. Even if a deal goes to 50 million, chat, 50 million is just ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous, in my opinion. Yeah, bro, they want 60 plus milli. They want 60 plus for Gittens, according to Sky Germany. Now, this is where things get interesting, because Sky Germany say they're demanding 65 million euros. But then, if you go to Ben Jacobs, who has been exceptional with the Chelsea news this summer so far, he's been really, really good. He's done an exclusive for Give Me Sport. And he's saying that it's understood a package of around 47 million will stand a chance of success for Gittens, although structure will be important. Talks continue over a new bid. Chelsea discussed Nico Williams, but have ruled him out due to the overall cost of the deal. Shock, as we knew months and months ago. So he's saying that 47 million euros, 47 million pounds has got a good chance of getting a deal done for Gittens. Obviously, structure and add-ons are going to be important. How much of that money is going to be in up front? How many installments is it going to be in? How much of that fee is going to be add-ons? How achievable are those add-ons? Etc., etc. But even then, you're touching 50 million, and even though you might not end up paying that 50 million, because I imagine some of those add-ons will be based on winning the Premier League, winning the Champions League during his potential 7-year stay at the club. You're looking at committing at least 40 plus million pounds to this transfer. Easy 40 plus million pounds to this transfer. I think you can see stuff is happening as well, by the way, chat, because Fabrizio has just retweeted his Jamie Gittens tweet. You know, when he does that something's happening, something's going on. So Fab's just retweeted his Jamie Gittens tweet. So it looks like stuff is happening. Gittens can't play for Chelsea at the Club World Cup. He played yesterday for Dortmund. Even if he didn't play, he's been named in the squad. Therefore, he cannot feature for Chelsea in the Club World Cup. So there's not really a rush to get this Gittens deal done because he cannot play for us. I presume he can train if we agree a deal and he signs. Can he sign in America and he can train with the squad whilst we're at the Club World Cup? He just can't play. Would that be allowed? I don't know. Would that be allowed? Who knows? But yeah, it looks like we're closing in on Gittens, chat. An improved offer will go in. There's no way we can go above that. There's no way we can go above that. But I mean, surely, right? No, bro, it's a retweet. It's a retweet from a previous one. He's retweeted. Has there been a new one? I don't think there's been a new one, chat. It is literally, as I've just said, he retweeted his previous Gittens tweet. Oh no, there's a new one. There's a new one. Apologies, chat. I hadn't showed up on the timeline. Let's get this one up. Chelsea and Dortmund remain in contact for Jamie Bino Gittens with new bid to follow. Gittens only wants Chelsea. Dortmund are aware of his decision, now up to the clubs. Talks underway again. Now, Felix Johnson has made a good point here, chat. Felix Johnson's made a good point here, is that why should we be paying more than what we offered before the Club World Cup? Because he says here, and it's a very good point, I don't see why we'd make an improved offer. Our next offer should actually be lower than our initial one. We bid 42 million, and that included having him for the Club World Cup. He now can't play for us at the Club World Cup. So going by Liverpool's calculations, our bid is now essentially worth 32 million. I don't know what he's going on about the Liverpool calculations. That bit's gone over my head a little bit. But he does make a good point here. He does make a good point. If that initial offer was to get Gittens for the Club World Cup, why now that he can't play in the Club World Cup, why would we then increase our offer and pay more? Why would we do that, chat? Why would we increase our offer and pay more? That is a good point. That is a good point. Yeah, quite possibly, mate. Quite possibly. You know, I think it's pretty obvious as well, chat. I think it's pretty obvious as well that that's exactly what happened. Guys, we're 145 in the building. Make sure you're smashing up the like button. We're only on 32 likes, so run those likes up, chat. Get this up to 100 likes and keep subscribing if you're new round here. So yeah, he makes a very good point, chat. He makes a very, very good point. That we're going to end up bidding more than we bid before the Club World Cup, and now we're not going, but we can't have the player for the Club World Cup, so we lose that advantage. Yeah, sure, but bro, if we really wanted the player, we would have paid that money before the Club World Cup if we really wanted him. If we really wanted him, we would have paid that money before the Club World Cup to have him for the Club World Cup, given we've literally only got 3 wingers in our squad for the competition. We literally don't have a left wing. I'll take Gittens, Garnacho. I mean, I'm not taking Garnacho. Gittens isn't any better than Noni. I don't think so. Not right now, no. I would agree with that. Not right now. No, he's not. Absolutely agree. We buy Gittens, they buy Fofana. I don't know if Dortmund will buy Malik Fofana. I've got no idea. Absolutely no idea. Look, Gittens could turn... I haven't got an issue of signing Gittens, right? My issue with Gittens is that this should be a squad signing. This should be a rotation signing. He should be an alternative option. The issue I've got, chat, is that it looks like he's going to be signed to go straight into the first team. And it's underwhelming as fuck. It really is, chat. Really, really underwhelming. But it looks like Chelsea are going to be... It looks like Chelsea are going to get Jamie Gittens. That looks like it's going to be on its way, guys. On its way to happening. On its way to happening, 100%. Yeah. So yeah, that I mean, it makes a good point there. But yeah, it looks like that offer is going to go in. I suspect we'll be looking at a total package worth around just shy of 50 million. It's a lot of money for someone who's not proven at the top level, really. But the left wing market's not great. Beggars can't be choosers. We've got to get someone in. So it looks like it's going to be. It looks like it's going to be Gittens. It looks like it will be Gittens, and it's just a question of when rather than if. When rather than if. When rather than if, chat. This will happen. This will absolutely happen. You know, we did. We have allowed Carney to play Club World Cup for them. But that's because I think Carney's loan runs until the end of the month. But yeah, no, we've allowed Carney to play Club World Cup. Our attacking options look worse than last season. Well, who have we lost? We've lost Sancho. So technically they are worse because we're 1 winger down. So, yes, in theory, they are worse, although we've got Delap in, so they're better there. So, in terms of striking options, it's better. But in terms of, like, overall options, we are an option down. So, it's probably not quite as good. I do agree with you on that one. So, yeah, looks like it looks like Jamie Gittens, a new bid is going to be prepared. There's not really a rush because he can't play in the Club World Cup. So, obviously, you'd rather get these deals wrapped up sooner rather than later, but I honestly think we should be bidding less. We should be bidding less because we're not getting in for the Club World Cup. Chelsea were talking about not wanting to play a Club World Cup tax, right? Yet after the Club World Cup, they're going to pay more than they were prepared to pay before. So, well, I mean, what the fuck's that about? We don't want to play a Club World Cup tax, but now that we can't have said player for the Club World Cup, we're going to return with an offer that was worth more than our offer for the player when we wanted him for the Club World Cup. Someone please explain to me. Someone please explain how that makes any sense whatsoever. That we're going to be spending more on a player that we can't use in the Club World Cup than we were prepared to do before. It's a strange one. It's a really strange one. A really strange one, chat. One that I don't really get. One that I do not really understand. But hey, it is what it is. The club will do what they want to do. Not prepared to pay extra 5 million for Mike Mignan, but we're happy to spend 50 M's on Inzaghi, sorry. On Gittens. Interesting. Really interesting. Really, really interesting. Doesn't make sense. But hey, that's where we are. That is the latest on Jamie Gittens, chat. That is the latest on Jamie Gittens. Yeah, last offer was worth 42 million. So why? And that was to get him for the Club World Cup. Why would we now pay more when we can't even have him for the Club World Cup? Bro, they rejected 50 million euros before the Club World Cup. So they're not going to accept 50 million euros now, I wouldn't have thought. I wouldn't have thought our same offer from before the Club World Cup will now get accepted. I really don't think it will. But anyway, that's the latest on Jamie Gittens, chat. We're now going to move forward with one thing quickly about Alejandro Garnacho. Now, I don't know how true this is. Chelsea have held talks over signing Garnacho on loan, similar to the Jadon Sancho loan deal. Let's see where this has come from. Let's see where this has come from, chat, in terms of a source. So, this is coming from Simon Phillips, chat. Chelsea are looking at new attacking midfielders who can play centrally as well as wide areas. There is a belief that a couple of wingers could still arrive. Gittens is in the works, interest in Malik Fofana, and Garnacho noise will not go away. Until now, our sources have not heard too much on Garnacho other than tentative interest. However, we have been hearing more and more noise on this one throughout the week, and fresh info has just come in on him. Simon Phillips talks Chelsea sources have heard that Chelsea have been discussing signing Garnacho on a loan-to-buy deal, just as they did with Sancho. Of course, both players are United players, so it would not be a deal that would be unfamiliar to either club and could suit both if the fee is right. I'm not sure if it would be a permanent buy with an option to send him back with a fee or a straight loan with an option/obligation. I mean, I really don't know what to say about that. It's a strange one. It's a strange one. It is a strange one. I mean, look, if you can send him back at the end of the season, maybe it's not, absolutely horrendous, chat. Maybe it's not absolutely horrendous, but it's not exactly ideal, is it? He's not. There's obviously ability and talent there, but the baggage that he brings with him, I just don't think is worth it at all. I really don't think it's worth it at all. So yeah, I mean, let's wait and see if anyone else follows up with that. If there's any truth to that backed up by anyone else, we will. We'll have to wait and see, chat. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, that was just a little update on Garnacho, that Chelsea might be exploring a similar deal to that of Jadon Sancho. But hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully, we get a winger in, whether it's Gittens, Fofana, both of them, whoever it might be, and we don't need to think about doing any sort of deal for for Garnacho. So let's move away from that. And let's talk about Nico Jackson, chat, because an exclusive from Give Me Sport has said that... Oh, where the fuck's that gone? Let me just quickly find this chat. Bear with me. Exclusive from Give Me Sport has said that Aston Villa are exploring the possibility of reuniting Nicolas Jackson with Unai Emery at Aston Villa. That is something that is being looked into, people. That's something that's being looked into. Let me just find it now. Here we go, chat. Aston Villa are ready to enter discussions to try and tempt Nicolas Jackson away from Chelsea and reunite him with Unai Emery. Interesting, interesting, interesting. I mean, let's see what this article says first, because unlike a lot of people, I'm actually a big fan of Nico Jackson. I'm actually a big fan of Nico Jackson, chat. Big fan. So let's see what this says. Aston Villa are ready to enter discussions over what it would take to tempt Nicolas Jackson to embark on a fresh challenge at Villa Park if Chelsea choose to put him on the market. Having allowed John Duran to move to Al Nassr for 71 million, Unai Emery is determined to secure additional firepower for the new campaign and competition for Ollie Watkins. Jackson is on Aston Villa's radar as a possible big-name acquisition. Emery is eyeing a reunion with Jackson at Villa after previously working with him at Villarreal. But he is having to remain patient as Chelsea have not publicly confirmed whether they would be prepared to sanction his departure this summer. Although the Blues are in a strong negotiating position and under no pressure to cash in, as the striker still has 8 years on his current deal, which sees him pocket 100 grand a week, the Villains are keeping tabs on his situation as they prepare for a season which will include Europa League action. Gimme Sport have been informed that Villa want to discover whether Jackson will be deemed surplus to requirements and fall down a pecking order following Delap's arrival. The Senegal international has been described. Jackson has been pimped. Emery impressed with Jackson. I've been told. Gimme Sports sources have been told that Emery has been impressed by Jackson and wants to land him after briefly working with him during the early stages of his career. There is a willingness to negotiate a deal to lure him to Villa if the opportunity arises. So there we go, chat. So Villa potentially interested in Nico Jackson if the opportunity arises to bring him to the club. Now, for me personally, I think Nico Jackson is very, very valuable to this Chelsea team. It's good now that we've got multiple options for him. It's great we've got multiple options for him. An additional option now with Liam Delap. I like Jackson. I like what he brings to the team, and he showed what he's all about with that brilliant assist for Pedro Neto against LAFC. And he offers a lot to the team. He's really great for the system. He's great for Maresca's style of play. I don't understand why so many people are so keen to get rid of him. And then what people expect the club to do after getting rid of Jackson if they do get rid of him. Sure, but that's not going to be the case. And even if it was a deal involving Morgan Rogers, you still need to go and sign another number 9 anyway. You still need to go and sign another number 9. You know, unless literally you were guaranteed to get Morgan Rogers, are you joking? It was a shit pass. Bro, I would recommend you book an eye test as quickly as possible. A shit pass? Are you mad? You either need your eyes testing or your standards are ridiculously high if you think that was a shit pass. It was a perfectly weighted ball inside the fullback. Great pass, great vision. brother, you need to go and get an eye test, or you need to lower your standards. But saying it was a shit pass, are you mad? I don't even think Ekatike is a flashy name. I don't think Ekatike is a flashy name. I don't think we are, bro. I don't think we are going to sign another striker. I don't think we are. We'll get a versatile forward, and that'll probably be it. Well, look, he's not played as a winger since he was at Villarreal. You know, he's not been tested. He's not been tried wide. I would like to see him tried on the left-hand side in this Club World Cup at some point. I'd like to see both. I'd like to see Delap down the middle with Jackson on the left. I would like to see that. I would like to see that. Bro, Jackson and Madueke can be good squad players for Chelsea. I'm not saying they should be starting every week, but you're saying get rid of them, and then you're then presuming that the club are going to get better players in than those two. And I'm not sure where that faith's coming from, bro. I'm not sure where that faith's coming from, that you think the club are going to get in better players than those. Exactly. This is the exact point. It's all very well saying, "Oh, let's get rid of these guys and whatnot." The reality is, does anyone trust this ownership and these directors to get better players in than Jackson and Madueke? Let's be real, because Madueke's still at the club and they're going after Jamie Gittens, who right now is not better than Noni. He's not better than Noni right now. I've got absolutely no idea. I don't know if this is going to go anywhere or not. Fair enough. Yeah, look, the only way Nicolas Jackson leaves is if he wants to. The only way Nicolas Jackson leaves is if he wants to leave. Otherwise, bro, Gittens is not better than Madueke. He's not. He might have the potential to be better than Madueke, but right now, Jamie Gittens is not better than Madueke. He simply isn't. Yeah, bro. We need to live on. We need to live on Earth. You know, we're not in Mars or somewhere out of space. Osimhen and Gyökeres are not coming. But yeah, you know, if that was the case, if we were going to get an Osimhen or a Gyökeres, then fine. I wouldn't have an issue with Jackson going if those were the permutations for a deal. Jackson leaves and then one of those two comes in. I wouldn't have an issue with that. But the fact is, chat, is that we're not going to get one of those guys. One of those guys are not coming in. What we need is just more goals across the front line. We need more goals across the front line. And look, Jackson's profile. I mean, look, Ekatike's got a similar profile to Nicolas Jackson. Yeah, I still don't see a situation where Villa are going to be selling their top players. I really don't. I really don't see it. I think Nicolas Jackson is massively disrespected by the Chelsea fan base. Has he got his flaws? Absolutely, he's got his flaws. His finishing is not particularly good, and that needs to be massively improved on. And if you're playing centre forward for Chelsea, then you need to make sure you've got decent finishing, and he needs to improve on that. But overall, what he brings to the team and how important he is to this team, Nicolas Jackson is a net positive for Chelsea. And I think people just need to be careful what they wish for when they say they want players gone. You know, what evidence have we seen from these sporting directors and the way that we recruit in the market? What evidence have we got to suggest that if these players are sold, better players will come in and replace them? Because right now, I think a lot of you lot in the chat are living in a fantasy land. You're living in a different universe. Yeah, bro. If it's about Gittens, I've already seen it. Look, I like the Delap signing. Can see he plays with heart on the sleeve, but we need more options. Yeah, bro. Look, I like the Delap signing as well. I like the Delap signing. I think Delap and Jackson are two great signings. Sorry, two great options to have. But obviously, we need more. We need more. But what we need is more goals across the entire front line. Maresca himself said it after the LAFC game. You know, he said that he doesn't want one striker that's going to score 40 goals. He wants 4 or 5 players that are going to get 10 to 15. And that's what we need. We need 4 or 5 players who can get at least a minimum 10 Premier League goals. Right now, we've got Delap, Jackson, and Palmer, who you would say those 3 will get you a minimum of 10 Premier League goals next season. Maybe Enzo Fernandez might, but you're not counting on Madueke for 10. You're not counting on Neto for 10. You're not counting on Tyreek George for 10. You're not going to be able to count on Jamie Gittens for 10. So, bro, Jackson's not had 3 seasons. Jackson hasn't had 3 seasons. He's been here for 2 seasons. Let's not make shit up. Jackson's been here for 2 seasons. Yeah, Kudus is very good, but Kudus is obviously a much more versatile player than Noni. And the problem is, like, guys, you know full well that we won't upgrade in these positions. It will be like for like or sideways at best. It won't be an improvement, chat. Look how desperate we are for a left winger. I know the market's not great, but our top target is Jamie Gittens, who has got potential, but right now isn't anything better than what we've got. Yeah, sure, but bro, there's no way we're getting all 3 of those. At best, we get 1 of them. At best, we get 1 of those. At best, we get 1. But bro, Ekitike is not worth the money. Ekitike is not worth the money. Yeah, no, bro, good to hear. Good to hear. Good to hear. No, I'm not afraid of change at all. I'm just saying that the grass isn't always greener. You know, Nico Jackson brings a lot to this team. A lot to this team. Yeah, I'll take Gordon at Chelsea. That's the caliber of player we should be looking at on the left-hand side. If you're prepared to spend almost 50 million on Gittens, right, why would you just not spend an extra 10 or 15 million and get Anthony Gordon? That for me would make a lot more sense. That, in my opinion, would make far more sense, chat. Far more sense. But hey, what do I know? Yeah, we finished top 4 last season without Delap up front. So Delap improves the team. We can, of course, we can finish top 4 with Delap up front. Absolutely. Bro, what players are we linked with right now that are better players than what are already at the football club? None of the players we are linked with are any better right now than anything we already have. So it is crazy to say we're going to get better players, because all the links to the players this summer are not any better than players we've got right now. They might turn out to be better, but right now all the players we're linked with are not anything better than what we've got. And I mean properly linked with, not just loose links. Yes, people smash the likes up, as Jay says. We're on 77 likes. Get this up to 100 likes as quickly as possible, people. Keep smashing that like button. Keep subscribing if you're new round here. No, I know, mate. I misunderstood. Apologies. One game, just one game. If we create an upset PSG in one knockout game, the mood will change. Yeah, look, I'm not thinking about that right now. There's a long way to go until we get anywhere near there. I mean, what else is being said in the chat? Guys, I can't read all this. We'll have to get to the bottom. By the way, people, if you want to guarantee your comment gets read out, please send in a super chat. Any donation is greatly appreciated. If you want to donate, scan the QR code in the top corner on the screen and do that, because that takes far less of a percentage than YouTube do. But any donation is greatly appreciated, chat. I'll try and get through as much as I can, but I can't keep up with all the comments. Yeah, we lose Jackson to AFCON in December. He's going to miss 4 or 5 games. And that's another thing. If we were going to sign Kudos, right? Kudos would also be missing for 5 or 6 games during AFCON, depending obviously on how far Ghana would go, depending on how far they would go. So we'll have to wait and see. But bro, and Osimhen Nigeria, sure, but that's not going to be a concern to us. So look, Aston Villa are exploring the possibility of a move for Jackson, but only if they get the green light from Chelsea that Chelsea are prepared to sell. And I don't think they're gonna sell. Why does it have to be Jackson or Delap? Yeah, this is exactly the point. You know, why with fans is it always one or the other? Why is it not both? It should be both. It shouldn't be one or the other. It shouldn't be Jackson or Delap. It's Jackson and Delap. Why has it always got to be one or the other? It's Jackson and Delap, just like it's Enzo, Caicedo, and Lavia and Santos. It's not Enzo or Caicedo. It's not Lavia or Santos. It's all these guys together. Chat. Ghana aren't in AFCON. Is that true? Did Ghana not qualify for the AFCON? Nah, brother, big yourself up. Appreciate you. That's very kind. Big yourself up, brother. It's all fun. It's all love in the comments, chat. It's all love. We cannot allow AFCON to mess up our season. Bro, AFCON only comes around every few years. You're not going to not sign someone because they might miss 5 or 6 games in January every couple of years. Fair, Ghana are out. Okay, that's fine. So Kudos wouldn't miss anything if he joined. Yep, that's also true. That's a massive thing with social media, particularly with a lot younger people, is that people are player FC rather than actually supporting the club. People will support players rather than supporting Chelsea, which is mental. Absolutely mental, chat. But yeah, it is what it is. No, there'll be no Sancho U-turn. Yeah, look, Malik Fofana was probably always an alternative target, but given that the deal with Dortmund didn't happen before and there's maybe been a few hold-ups or whatever, I wouldn't be surprised if that information was leaked out there to let Dortmund know, do you know what, we're prepared to walk away from a deal. That's probably why that information has appeared, chat. Yeah, I wouldn't be against Joao Pedro either, but I don't think he's going to be someone. I don't think he's going to be someone we're going for. But yeah, so that's the latest on Nico Jackson, chat. Obviously, it's a divisive topic. I think I'm pretty certain. I'm pretty certain that he'll still be at Chelsea come the end of the window. I'd be very surprised if he wasn't. Very, very surprised if he wasn't. But sticking with the Chelsea and Aston Villa theme, chat. Sticking with that Chelsea and Aston Villa theme. This from Ben Jacobs. Chelsea want a different profile to Jackson and Delap and have subsequently removed Benjamin Sesko off their list. Chelsea will be opportunistic for Rodgers should he genuinely become available, but Villa are looking at other exits to satisfy PSR. Shock. Obviously, we knew that. West Ham are willing to sell Kudus for less than his 85 million release clause, but it's unclear whether anything will develop. Now, Rodgers is going to be very, very expensive. And I think from what Ben Jacobs is saying here, I think with the Morgan Rodgers situation, chat, Chelsea will only move if it becomes clear that Villa have to sell him for PSR reasons. Otherwise, I don't see it happening. Otherwise, I do not see it happening, chat. I really don't. I really don't see it happening at all if that's the case. Now, let's get into this Ben Jacobs article. Let's get into it. Because I think anyone getting excited about signing Morgan Rodgers, chat, needs to rein their excitement in and accept this is very, very unlikely. Very, very unlikely. Because Villa are going to do everything they can. They'll sell multiple players to satisfy PSR rather than having to sell one of their main stars. We know that's going to be the case. We absolutely know that'll be the case, chat. So I think we need to rein it in. We need to rein it in on getting excited about fucking about signing Morgan Rodgers. Let's have a quick look here. No, that's not it. Bear with me, chat. I'm just going to find this article. Here we go. Right. So this Morgan Rodgers stuff. So, Eintracht Frankfurt's Hugo Ekitike has been discussed, but talks not advanced despite suggestions in Germany of a bid. Liverpool are another club to watch, while Man United have made an initial approach. The challenge for all suitors is Frankfurt want 100 million euros. Mohamed Kudus was also offered to Chelsea, and both Sanchez and Dewsbury Hall were discussed as players of interest to the Hammers. It's unclear if anything will develop, but West Ham are prepared to sell Kudus for less than his £85 million clause. Chelsea will be opportunistic should Morgan Rodgers genuinely become available, even though Villa don't wish to sell and are looking at other exits to satisfy PSR compliance. So, chat, really what we're saying here is that Morgan Rodgers, the only way Chelsea will explore a move for Morgan Rodgers is if Villa have to sell him for PSR. And you know full well that Villa will do whatever it takes not to sell Rodgers for PSR reasons. So I think it's pretty safe to assume that Chelsea will not be making a move for Morgan Rodgers, because I don't even think that opportunity is going to present itself. That opportunity won't even present itself, chat. That opportunity won't even present itself. Won't present itself at all. It won't present itself. Simple as that. It absolutely won't. So right now, what we're looking at here is, chat, Morgan Rogers, I think that's 95% not going to happen. Mohamed Kudus, who knows? Possibility. Ekitike, we're not going to pay that €100 million price. So right now, and then João Pedro is a name that, you know, has gone very quiet in recent weeks. So right now, out of the names that we've been linked with, Morgan Rogers, I think, is off the list. Bro, do you honestly think we're going to sign Morgan Rogers? Because I don't think I'm being negative. I think I'm being realistic. I think I'm being realistic in what I'm saying and not being delusional and allowing myself to think that Morgan Rogers is going to sign for Chelsea. Quite clearly states in the reports out there that Chelsea will only explore a move for Morgan Rogers if Villa have to sell for PSR reasons. Let's be real. Mohamed Kudus is really the only realistic one. Morgan Rogers is not realistic. We have to be honest here. If you think it's negative and you want to believe it is possible, then fine. Again, as I said, please tell me, how is saying that Morgan Rogers is unlikely to happen being negative? Should I just sit here and pretend we're going to sign Morgan Rogers and just lie to everyone? Bro, please answer me this. Do you think Chelsea are signing Morgan Rogers? Do you think Chelsea are signing Morgan Rogers? Please answer for me. Yeah, West Ham are difficult to do business with. Absolutely, West Ham are difficult to do business with. There's no denying that. Chat, we are 4 likes away from 100. Keep smashing that like button. It's free. It takes seconds to do. Make sure you run it up. And of course, make sure you are subscribing to the channel as well. Road to 20k. We're 30 subs away from 16.9. We're 30 subs away, chat. Keep smashing the subscribe button. Let's get as many of those chalks off as we can. Yeah, so there's 95%. Look, it's not impossible. It's not impossible, but I'm being realistic. That is highly unlikely to happen because Villa are going to look to sell other players to comply with PSR. It's very unlikely, and Chelsea are only going to go in should Rodgers genuinely become available. And the chances of Rodgers genuinely becoming available are slim to none. Now, if you think that's negative, that's fine. I believe that I'm just in reality and dealing with the facts at hand here. With the facts out, we're not going to get a new striker. We're not signing a new striker. All the reports are saying Chelsea are not signing another number 9. We'll get a left winger and we'll look for a versatile forward. That's what we're looking for. Another out-and-out number 9 is unlikely to come. Unlikely to come. So if you think me being realistic is negative, that's fine. There's no agendas here whatsoever. I would love to sign Morgan Rogers. Fabulous footballer. How is it agenda-based to suggest that Morgan Rogers is highly unlikely to come to Chelsea? Literally makes no sense at all. Literally makes no sense. Because they're versatile forwards. Ekitike is not an out-and-out striker. Can play 9, can play on the left, can play behind the striker. Same with Voltmate. Can play as a 9, can play deeper. You know, they're not out-and-out centre forwards. Gurhi's gone quiet. Gurhi's gone quiet. But yeah, I mean, I'm really unsure, chap. Really unsure about what we're going to do here. Very unsure. No updates on goalkeeper. Look, never say never in football. It's off the table unless Milan lower their asking price. So the deal is still there to be done. Chelsea, as I'm sure they like they usually do, Chelsea will absolutely try again at the end of the window if Maignan not gone anywhere, and they'll see if Milan will lower their price. But Chelsea will not do a deal for Maignan unless the price lowers. So if the price doesn't lower, there will be no deal. Simple as that. If there's no lower price, then it's no deal. It's not dead and buried in the water, but it's unless the price drops, it's not going to happen. Unless the price drops, it won't happen. Yeah, absolutely possible. Absolutely possible. Getting rid is what we're doing. Yeah, Eze at 68 million is a very good deal. But again, there's been no real links with Eze and anyone, to be honest. Not just Chelsea, but there's been no real links with Eze and anyone. No real links with Eze or anyone, chat. So that's going to be interesting. Well, look, to feature in the next round of the Club World Cup, I don't know when you've got to be signed by, but I presume you've got to be signed by the end of the group stage if you can be registered for the next phase. It would make sense. You need to be signed by the end of the group stage, you know? I would imagine that's what we're looking at here. Yeah, it's a possibility. Although I would fully expect Palace to be in the Europa League. I would fully expect it. I would fully expect Palace to be in the Europa League. I would be stunned if they got thrown out. Absolutely stunned. Yeah, I'd be very, very surprised, chat. Very, very surprised. Yeah, but bro, to be honest, how good are any tournaments early on? How good are any tournaments early on? And the answer is not many. Not many tournaments are decent early doors. Not many at all. Yeah, wouldn't be surprised if he goes there. Yeah, right now it seems to be all aboard the Gittens train. It seems to be all aboard the Gittens train right now. But yeah, defense has gone very, very quiet. No denying that whatsoever. Defense has gone very, very quiet. Very, very quiet. But I think we'll get more news on that later in the summer. Yeah, bro, exactly. Plus, LA to Atlanta's a 4.5-hour flight. And then, yeah, the logistics of it were obviously poor. Massive travel for everyone, coupled with the fact it's not really a big game. And also coupled with the fact it was 3 p.m. on a Monday afternoon. Like, obviously, it was never going to be full. Obviously, it was never going to be full. Bro, Zabani is going to go to PSG. He's top target for PSG. Zabani will be going PSG. Yeah, Chelsea think really, really highly of Mamadou Sarr, by the way. They think very, very highly of Mamadou Sarr. So let's see on that one. Yes, guys, run the likes up. Run the likes up. We're at 110 likes. Let's get this up to 150 likes, chat. We're still 100 and we're still over 200 in the building, guys. So make sure you're running those likes up. Let's get this to 150 and keep subscribing if you are new around here as well. Every new subscriber would be greatly, greatly appreciated. So make sure you are subscribing, chat, and make sure you're smashing these likes up. Second registration window is the 27th to the 3rd. Can only change maximum of 6 players to squad, but can add 2. Yeah, okay, so basically you need to sign by July 3rd. You've got to sign by July 3rd. But you'd want them in as early as possible, really. You'd want them in as early as possible. Ultimately, I don't think Chelsea are making any signings that will be registered for the Club World Cup the next stage. The only signing we could make in that window is Gittens, but Gittens can't play for us in the Club World Cup anyway. So it's basically irrelevant, guys. It's basically irrelevant is what we're saying here. You can't hear me, bro. You probably need to turn your sound up. We're going to get into this in a sec, but we're not winning our first 10 games. Let's just be real here. Let's be realistic. Yeah, we need to sell loads of players. We've got to sell loads of players. Yeah, run it up. As Top Dog RLG's saying, chat. Run those likes up, people. Run them up, run them up, run them up. You lot know exactly what to do. We need to run these likes up, chat. That's fine. I would have figured that more people would have mentioned if they couldn't hear me. I would have figured that out. That more people wouldn't have would have said something. More people would have said something. But let's move away from that and let's go to the fixtures, because it feels weird talking about the fixtures when we're still playing. It feels weird talking about the fixtures when we are still playing. But hey, that is where we're at. We're still playing the Club World Cup. Last season technically hasn't finished for us, but the new season... the fixtures are out, chat. And it's been quite favourable to Chelsea. Let's get these fixtures up. Chat, can you read that all right? Can you see that okay on screen? Let's have a quick look what it looks like. Yeah, that's readable. That's readable. So, look, it's a favourable start. We don't leave London until September 20th. The first month we don't leave London, so that's great. That's great. That's great for us, and I wonder whether that's just pure coincidence or it's got anything to do with the fact that we're at the Club World Cup and therefore they maybe don't want us to do loads of travelling as a bit of compensation kind of thing. I actually don't know. Or maybe it's just complete luck that we start the season with 4 London derbies in a row. But Crystal Palace at home is a decent opener. Tough game. We drew that 1-1 last season. They're the FA Cup holders. Will Mark Gurhey be in Chelsea blue for that game? Will he be in Chelsea blue for that game? I don't know. But Crystal Palace will be a tough game. It's at home, though. Super Sunday. We're kicking off our season on a Sunday. Like last season, chat, we got West Ham away. First away game of the season, up against Graham Potter. Then we got Fulham at home, which we lost last season. And then we go to Brentford away, where we've won once at Brentford away. We've won once at Brentford away, I think, since they got promoted. 1 win there. And that was when Mendy was in goal and Chilwell scored the goal. So 1 win in that season. I think that was the season after we won the Champions League. Yes, not at their ground, though. We've beaten them once at their ground. Once at their grounds, we've beaten them. So you look at that start, and the first 6 games aren't bad. Brighton, Palace, and Fulham at home. West Ham, Brentford, and Man United away. Man United away shouldn't be tough, but our record there is absolutely abysmal. Absolutely abysmal record away at United. Shocking record away at United. Nothing. I mean, it might be a bit easier. It might be a bit different. No Thomas Frank. Depends who the new gaffer is. No Thomas Frank. And obviously, they're probably going to lose in Buemo. So that'll be interesting to see who they replace him with. They're probably going to lose Visser as well. So yeah, there's a lot to do here. There's a lot to do here. So we're going to see. But what else you look out for is obviously... I'll have a look. I'll have a look. Is around Christmas. And that Christmas period is not bad. Leeds away, Bournemouth away, Everton home, Newcastle away, Villa home, Bournemouth home. Really, that Newcastle away last game before Christmas is obviously a very tough one. Other than that, the games are quite favourable there. Obviously, Man City away to start the year, to start 2026, not optimal. But then you look at the run-in, and that April, May is horror. The last 10 games of the season, chat, are very, very difficult. The run-in was tough last season. I think the run-in is even harder this time round. Even harder this time round, the run-in, chat. Even harder. I mean, really, really tricky. If we look at, let me get the last 5 up so it's a bit easier to see. Let's switch this out. Yeah. The run-in. Brighton away, Forest home, Liverpool away, Spurs home, Sunderland away. But we can go even further than that. You know, the last 10 games are very, very difficult. And by the way, this is just Premier League fixtures, chat. This is just Premier League fixtures. Wait until the Champions League fixtures are put in, domestic cups are put in, depending on how far we get in those. The run-in is very, very tough. Very, very tough. And hopefully we're not in a position like we were this season, just gone, where we're under massive pressure to have to get results in these fixtures. Yeah, this is what I was looking for. This is what I was looking for. Let me just bring this up, chat. So the Champions League draw is on August 28th. So Brentford away, between Brentford away and United away, will be our first Champions League game. Between Brentford and United away. So we've got Champions League, then United away. Then you've got Brighton. Then after that, so this is where it's tricky, chat. You've got Man United away after the first Champions League game. Liverpool at home after the second Champions League game. You've got Champions League again after Forest away. You've got Sunderland at home. After Spurs away, you go to the Champions League again. And then Wolves at home. Burnley away, game week 5. So these games after the Champions League, Liverpool, Sunderland, Wolves. That's not bad. Arsenal, Brentford, Palace. But look how rammed it is, though. Like, look how many fixtures there are. Like, squad depth is never, ever going to be more important than this season. Never going to be more important than it is this season, chat. It's going to be absolutely vital. Absolutely vital squad depth. Absolutely vital. Fixture lists are irrelevant. Has got to play every other team twice at some point. It doesn't matter when and what month. No, bro, look, I get it. Everyone plays everyone twice. But if you have a nightmare start and you've only got a couple of points on the board after your first 5 or 6 games, that does build pressure. And also, if you're struggling at the end of the season and you've got a difficult run of fixtures, that's not ideal either. That's not ideal either. So yeah, that's what we're saying here, chat. That's what we're saying here. Let's do this. Bro, when did I say no? When did I say no signings are going to be made? Why are we making stuff up now? When did I say no signings are going to be made? Yeah, you need a big squad. You absolutely need a big squad. Let me just bring. Did I bring those options up? Yeah. Here we go. Let me just get rid of this. This is better. So, can we see that well, chat? Yeah, we can. We can see that well. That's all good. By the way, guys, keep smashing the likes. We're 122 likes. Get these likes up, people. You get these likes up. Keep smashing the like button. 205 in the building. Yeah, at the moment, it is. Yeah, at the moment, it's sideways moves. The lapse an improvement, but in terms of the other targets that have been mentioned so far, at this point in time, at best, they're sideways moves. And that's my opinion on it. But at best, they are sideways moves currently. So look, this is a better representation, chat. So, yeah, 2 p.m. kickoff against Crystal Palace on the Sunday. International break after the first... Oh, fucking hell, it's an international break after the first 3 games. How shit is that? Champions League match day 1. But how the fuck is the Carabao Cup scheduled to take place on the 17th? We'll have to play the week after or something. Carabao Cup round 4 again. This is where things start getting techie. Champions League match day 3. 3 days later, Sunderland at home. 3 days later, Carabao Cup 4th round. 3 days later, Tottenham away. Wolves at home, international break. Burnley, Arsenal, Leeds, Bournemouth. There's another Champions League situation thrown in there. So yeah, this is going to be interesting, chat. Having a big squad packed with quality options is never ever gonna be more important. Never ever gonna be more important. Bro, I'm taking a league title. It's not far off 10 years since we last won the league. We've won the Champions League fairly recently. Don't get me wrong, I'd take the Champions League all day long. What I'm saying is that we haven't had a league title for going on almost 10 years now. I mean, the PSG midfield's outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. Look, our midfield options are very, very good, by the way. Very, very good. So, bro, there's so many games. Sure, I absolutely hear that. And look, I would love another Champions League. But ultimately, the Premier League's your bread and butter, and you want to be winning for the league. And the reality is, since we last won the league title, we haven't even qualified. We haven't even qualified. We haven't even got anywhere near the title. We haven't even got anywhere near challenging since we last won. Nowhere near challenging. Yeah, but you've got opportunities to win it above next season as well. You know, I mean, I don't know what the permutations are for qualifying for the Champions League. I'm not sure for the Club World Cup. Sorry, in 29. I don't really know. But yeah, those fixtures are certainly interesting, chat. Certainly interesting. It could be difficult. It could be difficult. And one thing, you look at the start, right? And it is a favourable start. I said it in the video I did earlier. I wouldn't be surprised if, depending on how far we go in the Club World Cup, I wouldn't be surprised if we had a bit of a sluggish start to the season and we dropped some points in those first few games, purely from a fatigue point of view and not having a proper pre-season, disjointed, playing well into June, start of July. I mean, that's not normal. I wouldn't be completely shocked if we did drop points. Wouldn't be completely shocked at all if we maybe had a slow start. And that's not me being negative. That's just me being honest that the Club World Cup could have a considerable knock-on the new season. It could have a considerable knock-on the new season. I mean, it will be interesting to see how Man City and Chelsea start the season, given their involvement in the Club World Cup. Given their involvement in the Club World Cup, it would be an interesting one. It would be an interesting one, chat. No denying that at all. No, brother, all good, all good. Thank you for the support. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you for the support. I am very grateful for everyone's support, chat. These shows aren't possible without you lot, so it is greatly appreciated. But yeah, I mean, next game in the Club World Cup is on Friday. We're against Flamengo. That's going to be a tough game, managed by former Chelsea title winner Felipe Luis. They got Jorginho amongst their ranks as well. It's going to be an interesting clash. That, you know, Brazilian teams, South American teams are hard to play against. Hard to play against. How is that negative? I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised, given our involvement in the Club World Cup, if we maybe had a sluggish start. I'm not saying we're going to have a sluggish start. Bro, you think everything that's not like... So basically, if I don't say we're going to get 30 points from our first 10 games, it's negative according to you. You know, I'm being realistic. We could have a slug. Our participation in the Club World Cup could have an impact on our start to the season. That's not negative. That's just being realistic and saying that, do you know what? We could maybe have a slow start to the season given our involvement in the Club World Cup. But yeah, next game's on Friday against Flamengo. South American teams haven't lost in the Club World Cup yet, and they're gonna prove a tough test for us. They are going to prove a tough test for us. Yeah, so absolutely, it's possible. Absolutely, it's possible. And I'm not thinking about qualifying for the 2029 Club World Cup. We don't need to be thinking about that right now. We absolutely don't need to be thinking about that. But yeah, Friday's game is going to be interesting. Friday's game will absolutely be interesting, chat. It's going to be tough. It is going to be tough. No is the simple answer to that. No. Absolutely not. It's not happening. It's not happening at all. It's not happening at all. That's the reality of the situation. It won't be happening. So yeah, there we go, chat. Not happening. Not happening. I mean, we'd all love an Osimhen. We'd all love an Osimhen, chat. Yeah, there's interest in Malik Fofana, but I think that's more. That information has probably more come out to put pressure on Dortmund to show, do you know what? Yeah, we'll walk away from a deal. We're happy to do that. I think that was more to put pressure on Dortmund in regards to Gittens. Obviously, Chelsea, of course, have got other options on their shortlist. It won't just be one target in Gittens. But yeah, I reckon that information's come out to put pressure on them. Absolutely. Mate, I hope so. I hope so. I mean, I hope we deliver the goods. I'd love to win the Club World Cup. I'd absolutely love it. I'm not sure how possible it's going to be, but we're going to give it our best shot. And then hopefully next season, we can add more honours to the cabinet. We can add more honours to the cabinet. Yeah, I think. Well, I think we'll get Gittens. I think Gittens is. I would say Gittens is like 85, 90% there. Like, we'll reach an agreement, chat. We'll reach an agreement. There's no doubt about it. We'll absolutely reach an agreement. Yeah, I think we'll get. I think Gittens will be done in the next week. That would be my. That would be my thought. That would be my thoughts. Yeah, of course, bro. Of course, you got to have that gold badge on the chest for 4 years. Yeah, you best believe that I would be I'll be repping that on the shirt. Of course, of course, of course, of course. Yeah, bro, it's class. It is class. I think it's the 98 third shirt. Problem is, it doesn't fit. It's way too big. But I had no Zola shirt in the collection, and I wanted it, but it's XL, and it's too big. It's way too big for me. So it hangs up there. But the dream is to get it signed by Zola, and then I'll frame it. That's the dream. So maybe we can make that happen. Maybe that's going to happen at some point. But it's way too big for me. But I wanted it, so yeah, we had to get it. The XL is just too big. I'd have to put some serious weight on to fit in that. Serious weight on to fit in that Zola shirt. But yeah, that's the idea. We'll try and get it signed by Zola. What else is happening? Also, chat, if you've got any other questions, get them in. Let's see what else is happening in regards to any further Chelsea news. Let's have a look. To be honest, it'll be Liverpool or City. Liverpool or City. I think City are serious this year, you know. I think they're real serious. It'll be Liverpool or City. I don't see Arsenal doing it. How many points in the first 5? What, Palace at home, West Ham away, Fulham at home, Brentford away, United away. First 5, 10 or 12 points, I'd like to say. 10 or 12 points. Yeah, 10 or 12 points. Bro, yeah, I mean, obviously gutted not to be in the US, would love it. But, bro, the flights are so expensive. I mean, in all honesty, I should have just booked the flights ages ago and just gone and then just tried to get tickets whilst I was out there. But now it's fucked because the flights are an absolute disgrace. Absolute disgrace. So, yeah. Yeah, of course, of course. I really don't see us being in a situation where we're struggling and Maresca has to go. I don't see that personally. I personally don't see that. I mean, I could be wrong. But no, I don't envision a situation where that will happen. Yeah, look, it's only literally the window's been open again for 2 days. 2 days. So yeah, let's just hold fire. Of course, you know, we're all desperate to get new players in as quickly as possible, but you know, things will be done. Things will be done. But it was interesting that Chelsea briefed that they wanted the bulk of the squad together for the Club World Cup, and they wanted pretty much all their business done by the end of June. There's still a couple of weeks to the end of June, But I personally not sure that all our business is going to be done by then. But we will wait and see, chat. We will wait and see on that one. Guys, we're 15 likes away from 150. Keep smashing the like button. Keep subscribing if you're new around here. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. And the support really, really helps me out. So please keep smashing the subscribe button. We are on our way to 17K. We're 125 away. So, yeah, make sure you keep smashing that subscribe button. 25 away from 16.9, the next milestone. So, yeah, any support is greatly appreciated. Wage structure is going to result in an underwhelming window. Potentially. Potentially it could. Potentially it could. But let's wait and see, guys. Let's wait and see. For me personally, I don't see it. For me personally, I don't see it. Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. That would be great, wouldn't it? It would be great. I really do hope that's the case. But I'm not entirely sure. I'm not entirely sure. Only if the price drops. I think Chelsea are definitely still interested in Mignan, but reports are saying unless the price drops, we won't go back in. So it'll be one of those where Chelsea will wait towards the end of the window and see if Milan cave and drop their price. It's going to be one of them. It's going to be one of them, chat. Thing is with signings, how many of these players have been linked with in the past, have been excellent elsewhere, and then the same fans who moaned about them? No, I hear that. Yeah, Jackson will miss the Palace game because he's suspended for the first game of the season after getting sent off against Newcastle. Yep, he will miss the game. He will miss that. What other news is there, chat? What other news is there? What other news is there, guys? Let's have a quick look. Because it's a 3-match ban and there wasn't 3 games left of the season. So, yeah, unfortunately, it carries over. Unfortunately, it carries over. So, yeah, it is what it is. So, yeah, there we go. There we go, chat. Anyone else got any questions about anything, guys? Do get information in. Do let me know. Whether you think it's ridiculous or not, those are the rules, unfortunately. Those are the rules. Chat, 10 likes away now. 10 likes away, 9 likes even, from 9 likes away from 150. Keep smashing the like button. Do I think Gittens deal will get done by Friday or by the end of the week? I think it will be done in the next week. I think it will be done in the next week, chat. That's what I believe. I think it will be done in the next week, 100%. That would be my prediction. That would be my prediction. Gittens will be done in the next week. But again, there's not really a rush for this Gittens deal because he can't play in the Club World Cup anyway. So we're not in a rush to get this Gittens deal done. Yeah, I mean, if people want to see the kit collection, then sure. Yeah, that can be done at some point, absolutely. Favorite of our title wins? The first couple were outstanding. 04, 05, 05, 06. They were both brilliant. The one under Carlo was very good. I mean, they're all great in their own right. The Conte one was good as well. But yeah, I'd say either of the first two Jose ones. Either of the first two Jose ones. Well, yeah, 100% he will. Yeah, that's the plan. That's the plan. That is the plan. Yeah, that Jose third one was great as well. I'm pretty sure 15-16 was the third one was Jose. Yeah, it definitely was definitely the third one was Jose, wasn't it? Definitely the third one. Yeah, I mean they're both class. Both. I mean, all the title wins are great. All the title wins are great. All of them are great, chat. And look, that's why I said earlier, Champions League is amazing, unbelievable. We need to be challenging for the Premier League again. That's what we need. That's what we need. Champions League football again. Sorry, Premier League title. That's what we need. We need to challenge for the league. Odds of winning the Club World Cup? Yeah, it's absolutely possible. Absolutely possible. It'll be a tough ask. Of course it will. It'll be a tough ask. We'll have to beat some very good teams to do it. But if you're talking about how possible is it, it's definitely possible. Yeah, Flamengo are good. They are decent. They are decent. So that'll be a tough test for us. That'll be a tough test for us. No doubt about it. That's definitely going to be our hardest game of the group stage. With the greatest of respect to LAFC and ES Tunis, we shouldn't really be having any issues against them. But yeah, this will absolutely be... This will be our toughest test, chat. This will 100% be our toughest test so far. It really will be a difficult one for us. But yeah, we'll wait and see what happens, chat. We'll wait and see what happens. But yeah, that'll be our toughest test. Yeah, I think that's pretty much almost everyone's favourite Chelsea memory. You never forget your first Champions League. You never forget your first Premier League title. Look, Chelsea maybe don't look at Rafa Leao as value for money. Maybe they don't. I don't know what their I don't know what their reasoning is, but it's clear that we're not interested in Leao. We've been interested previously, but I think it's clear that we're not that interested in him. Look, no, maybe not. But at some point, we need to be challenging for the title. At some point, chat, we've got to be challenging for the title. 4 more likes, by the way. 4 more likes to 150. Run it up, run it up, run it up. Final 3 likes, chat. Some of them are, but not the top ones, no. Yeah, I would take Leao. I would take Leao. I would definitely take Leao over a Gittens or a Fofana, for example. 1970, was that... I mean, that's obviously well before my time, but was that That was Peter Osgood, wasn't it? When they went to an FA Cup replay. Is that when they had? That's when they had replays in the final, wasn't it? They had replays in the final. Yeah, that definitely was that. I'm pretty sure it was that. Yeah, I probably will. Yeah, I think I will do that. I think I will, chat. Yeah, I think I will. It was a replay at Old Trafford. Fair. Now, big up to the OGs, you know. Big up to the OGs. But yeah, what else is going on? Yeah, there's a few kits I've got to get this summer, chat. There are a few kits that need to be purchased this summer. Probably, I don't know, 20 odd years ago. Basically, I've supported them all my life, chat. Any sponsor news? No. We're in conversations with a number of companies from the Middle East to try and get a sponsorship deal sorted. They want something long term. Now that we've got Champions League football, that'll be obviously much easier for us. So yeah, let's see what happens with that one. I mean, Damac, yeah, why not? Return of Damac. Let's get that going. Return of Damac. That'll be good, wouldn't it? That would be good, chat. I'd probably prefer Fofana, but there's not an awful lot in it. Qatar Airlines would be great. Riyadh Air as well. Another one would be good. Yeah, there's a few. There's a few that would be decent. Chat. There's definitely a few that would be decent. No idea. I don't know. I would be surprised if there wasn't something in place for the start of the season. Let's put it that way. But yeah, chat. I need to get on with the day. Need to get on with a few things. Get back to doing some work. Bring back Autoglass. Absolutely. Or Fly Emirates. What OG sponsors? Autoglass, Fly Emirates, or Samsung. One of them three. Get them back. But yeah, guys. Big up for the support this afternoon. Great show as always. Please smash that like button on the way out. Please subscribe if you're new around here. I'll be back again tomorrow with all the latest news again. Let's see what the next 24 hours or so has got in store for us, chat. But yeah, enjoy the rest of your Tuesday, Wednesday afternoon, even the sun shining in the UK. Enjoy the sunshine wherever you are. Big love for the support. Smash the likes. Subscribe to the channel. Up the Chelsea, and I'm out. Peace.